Hey everyone, welcome to your reformer workout. Today I have a full body reformer workout planned for you, and we're now going to be using our spicy rings. Make sure you have that one close by. I'm using that one for the majority of our workout today. Now we're starting today's class with a little bit of mobility. We're starting on one red spring, so one heavy spring. You just pop your ring off to the side on the floor just for a moment. We'll come back to that one very shortly. So we've got one red spring on, our foot bar is up in its highest position, our headrest is flat, and let's come on up for a puppy stretch on the reformer. So we're going to come into a kneeling position with our feet up against those shoulder posts, hands about shoulder width apart on our foot bar, keeping our hips up over our knees. Let's start to hinge at the shoulders, sending the carriage out and finding our puppy pose. So dropping the chest down into that working spring, keeping the hips nice and high. Find that happy little puppy pose and let tailbone up to the ceiling. Feel that beautiful stretch here through the shoulders, through the chest, and finding as much extension through the spine as feels good for you. And then when you're ready, we're going to round through the back, pull the belly button up around the spine and start to ripple forward, bringing shoulders back over foot bar. Find that starting position. And let's repeat that 3 more times. We glide the carriage out, hinging from the shoulders, but keep the hips up nice and high over those knees. Find that happy little puppy pose. Beautiful. Maybe get a little bit more range here into those shoulders if that feels good. Into that extension. And then we round through the spine, pull the belly button up, we ripple forward. 2 more reps here. Find that beautiful stretch, beautiful bit of mobility here for the spine, for the upper body. I love this stretch. It feels so good for the full body. Good. And ripple and round. Belly button pulls up. Good. Let's go 1 more. Keeping those shoulders away from ears. Sink it down. Find a little bit more extension here. If that feels good for the spine, keep that tailbone up. Good, and ripple and round, pulling it all back in. Now from here, just park the carriage, and we're going to sit those hips down to heels, and let's glide the carriage back out for a child's pose. We're going to come into a little bit more rotation now. Keeping the right hand where it is on the foot bar. Take your left hand and grab onto the bottom of that right side of your foot bar, holding onto the outside, so your hands wrapping around the outside. Fingertips are coming into the middle of that foot bar. And we're just looking under that right shoulder, right armpit I should say, and we're just pushing against the foot bar with our right hand, and we're pulling against the foot bar with the left. There's a bit of counter pressure here to find that lovely stretch through that left shoulder, through that upper back. And getting a little bit of rotation here through the mid back, through the spine. Feels really nice. Let's hold for 1 more nice deep breath, and we'll do the other side. And the left hand comes back on. Stay down and wrap the right hand around the left bottom part of the foot bar. Looking under that left armpit, we're pushing with the left hand, we're pulling against the foot bar with the right, and find that beautiful stretch this time through that upper right hand side of the back and the mid back. Go, 1 more nice deep breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. Take hands back to foot bar, and you can bring the carriage back into a close. Beautiful. Now let's start for our bridges. We do have 1 more little bit of mobility coming up, a bit of a stretch coming up, but let's pop on our springs for our hip bridges today. So going 1 red, 1 blue. So a heavy and a medium spring coming on. And headrest should be all the way down to the flattest position for our hip bridges. Bring your ring along with you, and let's lie ourselves down onto our back. We'll have a quick hammy stretch, and then we'll get into our bridges. Once you're lying down, let's extend those legs long to the ceiling, bringing the arches of your feet into the far end of that ring. We're going to take an underhand grip on the side that's closest to your chest. Let's just flex those toes back towards you and pressing heels up to the ceiling, finding length through the back of those legs, through those hammies. Now you may not be able to get your legs all the way straight here. That is totally fine. Just extending those legs as long as feels good. We don't want to overstretch here. It's just a gentle little stretch. And we're going to start to pedal out those feet. Bending 1 knee as you extend the opposite leg and find that beautiful stretch through the hammy to the back of that leg. Each time we extend it long. Beautiful pedaling out. Keeping tailbone heavy on the carriage. Do not want that lift here, so we get that maximum stretch through the back of those legs, keeping shoulders relaxed away from ears. Good, let's just go last 8 here. Then we're sliding that ring all the way over our knees, like we're stepping into a skirt in 3, in 2, and 1. You can straighten out both legs. And let's just pop that ring all the way now over our knees. So it's not in between, it's over on the outside of those knees, those little cushions. Touch the bottom of our thighs, gently pressing against those cushions with your knees, just gently dropping out. But again, it should still be circle, not a big oval yet. We're not really stretching it. It's just a bit of gentle pressure so that ring stays put. Bring your arms down by your side. Bring your heels about hip width apart onto the foot bar, toes flex back towards you. Now we're going to start with some nice little articulation bridges just to continue warming up the spine, keeping the carriage as still as we can at that stopper. We take an inhale, prepare. As you exhale, I want you to scoop that lower belly, tuck the pelvis, tilting it back towards you, then start to roll up, lifting the tailbone, then rippling and rolling up through the spine, 1 vertebrae lifts at a time, coming into your beautiful bridge. We inhale, hold at the top, and then we exhale, melting the spine down, 1 vertebrae at a time, touching down, upper back, mid back, lower back, and tailbone, all while keeping that carriage parked. And we repeat, inhale, prepare, exhale, tuck, peel, and we scoop and lift, rolling up through the pelvis, rolling up through the spine, finding your bridge, so gently pressing out into that ring. And then we exhale to roll it back down with control, keeping hips nice and level. Beautiful. Let's go for about 4 more just like that. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Now I've got the ring around the outside of our knees today. You're going to really feel that helping to warm up those glutes, particularly the glute med. So the really outer part of our glutes here. As we gently press out into that ring, gives us a little bit extra glute activation today. We're going to be working later in class on some heavy springs for our glutes, making sure we're getting them nice and warm, ready to go. Good, you've got 2 more. Then we're going to hold our hip bridge at the top. We've got 2 rounds of bridges here today. Ribs are staying soft as you find that bridge at the top so we're not overextending through the spine. Good, on the next one, let's lift up and hold that bridge, keeping that carriage still. It's still in at that stopper. We hold the bridge still. We're gently going to press those knees out and out into that ring, like we're trying to tear that ring in half. Good, squeeze them out and out. Hello glutes. If you want more, we float those arms up. Good, keep that carriage still for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Arms come down and you can roll slowly down out of that bridge. Round 1 done. Well done, team. Alrighty, keep that ring exactly where it is. Make sure it's still comfortable. We're going to be staying in a neutral spine now for our next sequence of bridges. So keeping our spine long and neutral and straight. We're not rolling to the pelvis anymore. Gentle pressure around that ring. And when you're ready, exhale. We lift up, straight up in that neutral spine. And then we inhale, lower, and tap the hips and tailbone down. We exhale, lift up, press those knees forward over that bar. Inhale, lower. It's a little bit of a faster movement. Again, we're not rushing, but it's a little bit faster than that articulation. We exhale up, we inhale down. Beautiful. So good here, team. That's a little bit faster, really getting the activation through those glutes. Good. If you want more, we add a top range pulse. We lift up, pulse halfway down, all the way up, and then you come all the way down. Good. We lift up, halfway lower, lift, and all the way down. Whew. Feeling spicy. That's it. Keep it going. Keep pressing those knees gently over that foot bar as you lift. Little secret there to help keep that carriage still. Should be feeling those glutes and hammies really firing up. You've got last 10 seconds here. We're going to keep those hip pulses going in that top range in 5, 4, 3, 2, and let's go. Little pulses in that top range. Keep that carriage close. If you want more, float those arms up. Just here for 5. We hold our bridge in 4, 3, 2, lift and hold, squeezing out and out on that ring one last time. Going here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking it down. Well done, team. Take that ring off. Pop it off to one side for a moment. Just give those knees a gentle little rock from side to side. Well done. Alrighty. Gonna get into some feet in straps now. Everyone's fave, yeah? Reaching back, grab onto your long loops. One at a time, let's pop those over the arches of our feet and extend those legs nice and long towards that foot bar. Beautiful. Alrighty, once you're in those straps, arms along by your side, make sure nice and centered and straight on your carriage, and we're in our neutral spine. So core is drawing up and in. We have a tiny little gap in the small of our lower back, like we're holding onto a little blueberry under there. We're going to bring our heels together, turn our toes out in our Pilates V, so keep those heels squeezing, and let's come into our hamstring press. Slowly keeping those legs long, we start to lift those legs up to the ceiling, bringing those feet directly over our hips, finding a lovely stretch through those hammies at the top, and then we exhale to drive those feet back down in line with the foot bar, maintaining neutral spine. Inhale, we slowly lift. Exhale, we drive it down, nice and slow and controlled. Find that beautiful stretch through the hammies at the top, and then drive it down. That's it. All while maintaining tailbone in contact with the carriage and staying in our neutral spine. So as you lift, don't let that tailbone lift. And as you lower, keep gently squeezing or holding that blueberry. Don't let it roll away. Don't let that lower back arch. Good. Should be feeling those hammies nice and strong, especially after that bridge series. We're here for 15 seconds and we're changing this up to our froggy press. Gonna get a little bit into those inner thighs here in this feet in strap series while still working the back of those legs. In 8, let's hold those feet down in line with foot bar. In 5, 4, 3, 2, and on the next rep, press those feet down, hold them on that 45-degree angle. Heels stay squeezing together as you bend your knees wide outside those ropes. Knees come over hips. Exhale, extend those legs long, inner thighs zip together. Inhale, knees bend wide into a diamond. Exhale, extend. Keeping those hips again glued down. Don't let that tailbone lift. I like to sometimes bring my hands onto my hips here just so I can get a bit of feedback. Feel what those hips are doing. Feel them staying super still, super stable. There's no rocking from side to side. There's no lifting. They're anchored down. Good. Using that core, zipping up through those abdominals to keep those hips nice and still. Good. Now, if you are feeling any movement, you can always aim those legs a little bit higher up to the ceiling as you extend those legs. That helps keep the core engaged more, because the lower you take the legs, the harder it is to maintain that core engagement. The harder the core has to work. Alrighty, in 10, we're adding in our froggy circle. If you're not feeling those inner thighs, you're going to feel them after this. We hold our knees bent in 4. There in 3, 2, and hold those knees bent for 1. Freeze the thighs where they are. Keep the carriage as still as we can. We're going to open our legs out wide into a split or a V, and then sweep those heels back together, keeping those legs long. And we repeat, frog in, bend the knees, hold the carriage still. Open out into your split. Exhale, sweep those heels together, meeting the center of your foot bar. So those legs are working together. One leg is not working harder than the other. That's it, beautiful. Bend it in, open, sweep and connect. That's it, taking it slow. Give me 20 seconds here, team. Hello, inner thighs. Such a good muscle to strengthen is so important, our inner thighs, for supporting our hip stability, our knee stability. Really, really important muscles. We often don't work them enough, so I love to add them in here with a bit of feet and straps. You've got last 6. We're just going to stick with that split. In 4, legs stay long in 3, 2, and let's go just that split. We inhale, open into that V. Exhale, close that split, heels together. Nice and slow. Now, the wider you open those legs, the harder your inner thighs are going to have to work to pull those heels back together. So just reduce the range to make it a little bit nicer if you need. You've got final 10. We're gonna hold those legs open in that split for little circles to finish in 5, 4, 3, 2, hold that split where you're comfortable, and we're going to draw little circles the size of a small dinner plate with those heels circling from the hip for 5. We reverse in 4, 3, 2, and take those circles the other way, little circles opposite direction just for 5, 4, 3, 2, and zip those heels together for 1. Bend those knees in, just bring the soles of the feet together and have a quick moment. Let those knees drop wide. Quick little moment to catch your breath. Inner thighs on fire. All right, team, you can take those straps off carefully, one at a time. We're gonna come off our backs now. So hang those loops up on their poles. And let's come on up. Gonna get into a little bit of upper body and a little bit of core work now. So we're coming back onto one heavy spring. So that's one red spring. Popping that on. We're going to set up for some heavy wheelbarrows. So facing towards your foot bar, we're finding our half plank position. So feet are both up against our shoulder posts and our hands are starting on our foot bar, shoulder width apart. You want to make sure your wrist is on top of the foot bar and not slumping down. So you're on the top of the foot bar, that strongest position. From here, gently send those knees back to open that carriage just a little bit. Tailbone is tucked like we're zipping pubic bone up to belly button here. Find that long line from the crown of your head down to your knees. Shoulders roll back, down away from ears, setting our scapulars. Now, let's take an inhale, prepare. As you exhale, we're going to hinge from those shoulders, glide that carriage down the rails, holding that half plank position, and then inhale to return back over that foot bar with those shoulders. And repeat, exhale, send it down and back, going as far as you can control that half plank. Inhale, pull it in. Now, the further we go out into, or out down those rails, I should say, the heavier that spring's going to feel. The more the upper body, the more the chest, the shoulders are going to work here. So pick your poison, find what range you can control without losing your half plank. Now we've got 2 rounds of wheelbarrows today. This is round 1 using our heavy spring. This is more upper body, shoulders, chest focused. Then our next round is going to be more core focused, but still should be feeling the core working here as you zip up through that imaginary tight pair of jeans, holding that half plank still. Get our upper body nice and warm here. All right, this is your first layer, team. If you'd like to add on the next rep, we're going to add a carriage shoulder press. Let's slide the carriage out, holding low. We keep our chest down. From here, we bend our elbows, bring our chest in towards the foot bar. Exhale, press all the way out, and then we come all the way back up. Try that again. We go out, exhale, one wheelbarrow down. Inhale, bend the elbows, chest to bar. Exhale, press away. We inhale to return. Woo, spicy for that upper body. You got this, team. Keep it going. Using that breath to help you. Exhale on the exertion. It's there to help you on that hardest part of the movement. Can we go 15 more seconds in this combo? And then you probably guessed it. We're just going to finish with that shoulder press. Now, if any of those layers aren't for you, you find what layer feels best and you stick there, team. Good. In 5, we're staying down. 4, 3, 2, and let's go. Stay low. Chest comes in. We exhale, press away. Give me the last 10 seconds here. Start to feel those biceps switching on as well. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2. Last, we press out for 1 and bring it on up and in. Let's take a quick little child's pose here. Send those hips back to heels. Arms go over that foot bar for a lovely stretch. Taking a moment here. Enjoy that quick little stretch. Now we are going to change our springs for our core focused wheelbarrows. For this one, I'm going to give you 2 options. First option is going to be one blue spring, so one medium spring. That one's going to be a little bit more supportive, a little bit nicer for the core here. Or if you're feeling strong today, you want to challenge yourself, challenge your core, go onto a yellow spring, so a light spring. So first option, blue, a little bit nicer, a little bit more supportive. Challenge option is a yellow spring. Pick your poison here. Same setup. Hands onto the foot bar, toes and feet are up against our shoulder posts. Now again, it's a bit lighter. Slide those knees back, find that tuck and scoop of the tailbone, shoulders down away from ears. This time our breathing pattern, we inhale, slide that carriage away, holding it half plank, don't let those hips pike. And then we exhale, draw that carriage back in. It's a lot lighter, that spring, so it's a lot harder to drag the carriage back in. Inhale out, exhale in. Good. Now to make this one nicer, you can always reduce the range again. The further you go out down those rails, and the harder the core has to work to maintain that half plank position, maintain our neutral spine. Good. Nice, keeping neck and spine nice and long, try not to drop the head here. Keeping shoulders away from ears. I know those shoulders are probably burning by now. Just a quick little core set here. Keep pulling that core up and in. Beautiful. If you want to challenge yourself more on the next one, can you hold that wheelbarrow at that bottom range for 3, 2, 1, and then pull in. 3-second hold again. Can we go? Slide it out, we hold that half plank for 3, 2, 1, pull in. Oh my goodness, the shakes are real. Few more here, team. Let's go for 15 seconds and we have a static hold to finish. Can we get that wheelbarrow a little bit further down those rails? Good, last 8. We're finishing with that static hold in 4, 3, 2, glide that carriage out as far as you can and we hold it here. Holding, keep that tailbone tucked under for 5, 4, 3, 2, and we pull it back in and let's find that beautiful child's pose stretch here again. Sit those hips back to heels for a moment. Well done, team. Give those wrists a little roll if you need here. Alrighty, this is where the fun begins, getting back into our leg work, our heavy legs now. So we're gonna start by popping our foot bars down so they're out of the way so we can access our platform. We're coming to some standing work on the platform today. For our spring, we're going back onto one heavy spring. So one red spring back on, pop that heavy spring on, grab your ring. Let's step over to the left side of our reformer, getting ready for our standing work. Now for this heavy standing work on the reformer, always recommend having yourself a pair of grippy socks on. Just helps with the grip when standing on the reformer, especially on our heavy springs. And if you don't have grippy socks, just go barefoot on here. If you have a grippy mat, you can always use that as well. But otherwise, barefoot, grippy socks, ready to go. We're facing towards our reformer, bring our ring with us. Platform foot always steps up first. So going left foot, platform first, and then right foot come to the carriage. So we're going to set up for some splits. So our feet are starting about hip width apart, our toes are both tracking forward. We're going to bring our ring into the palms of our hands and reach our arms long, so that ring is just about that shoulder height or chest height. Roll the shoulders back and down and find that tuck under of your pelvis again, or your tailbone, like you're zipping pubic bone up to belly button, finding a long, tall, neutral spine. If you have a mirror next to you, you can always check in. Keep those shoulders relaxed, core is on. We take an inhale to prepare, legs stay long. As you exhale, we slide the carriage out, finding our heavy split. Inhale, control it back in. Now it's nice and heavy. You may not be able to get a huge range here, but straight away, you're gonna feel that glute med working nice and hard. That outer part of your glute that is responsible for that abduction. So opening those legs wide into that heavy split. Good. Focusing here on maintaining neutral spine. We're not leaning back or forward. We're staying nice and tall. Exhale, press away. Now I know it's heavy, team. We want it heavy. At any point it's too much, you can always step that carriage foot a little bit further towards your shoulder post. The further you step that foot, the lighter the spring is going to be. So you can always adjust at any point if you need. Play with that position of the foot, see what feels good. Good. Nice. Now if you want to add in that ring, you want to add an overhead reach. As you slide the carriage away, can we sweep that ring overhead like a halo? Then we bring it back in front as we close that carriage. Go for a little pulse on that ring between those hands. And again, glide the carriage out, overhead lift. Ring comes back in front, carriage closes, a little squeeze. As you come into that overhead reach, make sure our ribs are staying down so we're not swaying, we're not leaning back. Beautiful, going final 10 seconds here. We have a few rounds of work here. This is round 1. We're holding out for some split pulses. in 4, in 3, 2, and on the next rep, hold out. Can we hold that ring overhead? Little pulses, 1 inch in, 1 inch out. Oh my goodness, glutes on fire. 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it in for 1. Park that carriage. Woo. Give those legs a little shake out, little moment to reset. We've got our squats coming up. Ring to chest for our squats. Now feet come back to that hip width apart to begin here. And if you prefer for your squat stance, you're welcome to keep your toes tracking forward. Or I like to find a little turnout, just a little turnout of my toes, a little external rotation. Hold that. And let's just open our spring just about 10, 15 centimeters max away from the stopper. Just as a bit of tension there. We're aiming to keep that carriage as still as we can and not let that carriage close. Keep the ring to chest, roll shoulders away from ears, and let's go for our squat. We inhale, bending our knees wide like we're sitting back into a chair. Exhale, press through the heels, rise up, and repeat. Inhale, we sit it down, keep that carriage still. Exhale, rising up, tuck that tailbone, beautiful. Nice, as you squat down, think like you're zipping up a really tight pair of jeans. So you're gently pulling that core up and in to support your neutral spine, supporting that lower back. If you want to add in that ring, we're adding a press. As you squat, press that ring forward. As you rise up, let's squeeze that ring out our chest. Big squeeze, turn it into an oval. Reach, squat, rise up, squeeze. Using those biceps, using those shoulders and chest. Now just getting as low as we feel comfortable in our squats. You don't have to go super low. It's making sure that carriage is staying still. It's still open and away from that stopper. Alrighty, final layer here, team. Can we add our squat pulse? We come on down. Pulse, pulse, rise on up, big squeeze. Again, let's check in with that carriage. Is it starting to slide close or is it still open? Again, you can always adjust that carriage foot position. If you need to lighten the load, step it towards those shoulder posts a little bit more. You've got it, team. Final 10. Oh my goodness. Glutes, quads, hammies are all burning. We're pulsing it out in 4. Staying low in 3, 2, come on down. Can we hold that ring out? Little pulses through those hips. Knees pressed wide. That's it. Little pulses. Carry to still for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it up. Close that carriage for 1. Oh my goodness. Give those legs a little shake. We've got one more round. Sorry, not sorry. We're not done yet. Alrighty. Quick round of skaters. Then this side is done. We'll have a little reset, little break, and then get back into the side of our legs. Alrighty, let's go. Ring to chest for our skaters. I've brought my feet back to parallel, so toes are facing forward. Carriage stays still to begin. We're gonna bend down through both knees. So we're in that little narrow squat stance. Shifting all the weight now over that platform leg, so over that left leg. My ankle, knee, hip, all stacked in one line. Heavy through that left leg. Holding that left leg still. Let's start to exhale. Extend that right leg out. Inhale, control it in. Exhale, press. Inhale, bend. It's nice and heavy, yeah? Use that breath to help you. That left leg does not move an inch. Whew. Quad on fire. Stay low, team. You've got it. Shoulders back. And we're slightly hinging forward. Find that little ski slope spine. Looking down to the floor just in front of our rails. Good. Heavy through that left heel. Don't let that left leg move. I know it's tempting to slide that way. Don't let it happen. Stay frozen here. Last 10. Can we sink a little bit lower maybe? Press those hips back. You've got 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it into park. Rise up. Oh my goodness. Whew, shake it out. Let's step back. Carriage foot comes down first. Then platform foot. Holy moly. Ring comes down. How are we doing, team? Still with me? Good news is we've got a little bit of upper body work coming up now. I should say upper back work coming up now to give those legs a little break. Then we'll get back into our heavy legs to finish off. All right, we're going back on to a medium spring, so a blue spring now. If you want to go a little bit heavier for your upper back work, you can go a high blue here. So blue, first option, or high blue is your challenge option. So pick your poison. We're going to be turning around and finding a kneeling position facing towards our pulleys. Now, a couple options for positioning here. If you're more comfortable in a low kneel, you can stay there. If you're happy to come up into a high kneel, this is your more challenging position for your balance, your core, bit of lower body as well. Meet me there if you're feeling good here. Now, if kneeling isn't on the cards for you, you can do this one seated, cross-legged, or your legs long between the shoulder posts, an L-sit, or grab your box and take a seat on that one for these exercises. Totally fine, pick what feels good for you. We're gonna reach down, grab onto our short straps for our shoulder retractions. So I want you to roll your shoulders down and back away from ears. And again, we're zipping our pubic bone up to belly button and find that tuck under of our tailbone to keep us in our long neutral spine. My hands is coming just beside my hips. Palms are facing back to our platform. Keeping shoulders down away from ears. Small controlled movement, not a big movement here. Take an inhale, prepare. And as you exhale, you press those hands back behind you as you draw your shoulder blades together. Then inhale, float those hands just in line with hips, keeping that carriage open. And again, exhale, press those hands back, squeeze shoulder blades together. Inhale, arms come forward. Now retracting those shoulder blades as you drive those hands back. I like to imagine there's a little blueberry here sitting in the center of my shoulder blade, the center of my upper back. And as I drive those arms back and draw my shoulder blades together, I'm imagining those shoulder blades almost popping, squeezing that blueberry with every rep, every retraction. Making sure we're working just those upper back muscles, relaxing upper traps. If you start to feel them switching on, take a moment, take a little reset, roll those shoulders out, making sure we're working the upper back and not upper traps here. This is a great posture exercise. Strengthening all those upper back muscles that help with our posture, keep our chest open, keep us upright. Good. If you want more on the next rep, can we hold those hands back behind our hips, keep the carriage still, add a little wave out, in without moving that carriage, and then bring those arms back in front. Repeat. Press those arms back, little wave, open, close, and draw them back. Just a little wave, maybe 10, 15 centimeters away from your hips, not a huge range here. Aim to keep that carriage still, keep squeezing that blueberry, those shoulder blades are anchored down as you wave. Final 10. Good. Last 5. We're just sticking with that wave to finish. Stay nice and tall through the spine for 3. We're feeling the shakes for 2. And hold just that wave. Good. Keep shoulders down, upper traps relaxed for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Close that carriage. You can sit those hips down onto your heels. We're all coming down, or again, if you're seated on the box, just stay seated on the box. Now we're going to come into some tricep extensions. I want you to grab onto the thick part of the strap just below the little knots on the ropes. Holding the thick part with both hands. For our tricep extension, we'll take a little hinge forward. Hips are sitting onto our heels. Hinging forward, find that ski slope spine. I want you to bring your elbows nice and tight to your waist here and roll the shoulders back away from ears. Palms are facing in. Take an inhale to prepare. As you exhale, we extend those hands straight back past our hips. Then inhale, bend those elbows, kind of like you're doing a bicep curl. Exhale, extend those arms back, squeezing triceps. Ooh, super spicy. Inhale, bend. Those triceps should already be switched on after those shoulder tractions, working the upper part of those arms as well as the upper back. So I'm feeling this one straight away. Keep drawing that core up and in, staying in that beautiful neutral spine. Beautiful. Now, if you want to make this one more challenging, little option here, you can hover your hips just an inch or 2 off those heels and keep going. We're not moving the hips, they just stay hovered. We're not in a full high kneel, it's a little hover off those heels, adding a bit more work for our core to stabilize and those quads, and my goodness, they're feeling it straight away here. Good, keep shoulders back, chest is open. You've got last 10. Good. Give me 5. We're holding those arms back static. Hold after this for 4, 3, 2, extend those arms back, hold, holding here, squeeze those triceps, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, and curl in for 1. Oh my goodness, how are you feeling? Upper body is on fire, as well as that lower body. Give those shoulders a little roll. Let's just clasp those hands behind our back and give that chest a quick little stretch and open. Alrighty, ready to get back into those legs? I am. Let's go. Let's change those springs back over. Now, again, back onto that red heavy spring. So one red spring comes on, Oh, this ring comes off. We're grabbing our ring and we're going to step onto the right side of our reformer this time. So I'll be facing away from you for this next set. Facing towards our platform with our ring in hand. This time, right foot comes to platform first, then left foot comes up to carriage. So I'm starting with our split. So finding those feet about hip width apart, our toes are both parallel and tracking forward. Bring that ring into the palms of your hands with those cushions, and we extend those arms nice and long. Shoulders roll down away from ears and tucking that tailbone under to find that long, beautiful neutral spine. Legs stay long. We take an inhale to prepare, and as we exhale, we slide that carriage out for our straight leg split. Inhale, control that carriage back into the stopper, and repeat. Exhale, we slide away as far as you can control. Inhale, draw it in. Should be a very similar feeling, through those glutes as we felt when we had that ring around the outside of our knees for our warm-up in those bridges. Very similar movement as we squeeze and drive against that heavy spring, keeping that pelvis nice and level. Try not to let that tailbone untuck. We keep that tailbone shining down to the well straight beneath us. Good. Now again, if it gets too spicy here, you can always adjust that carriage foot, bring it a little bit closer to those shoulder posts. Take a bit of tension off that heavy spring. Nice, keep zipping up through that core every rep. And if you want more, let's start to add that overhead sweep. As we slide out, ring comes back in front, gentle pulse between those palms. Slide the carriage out, overhead reach, little pulse. Like we're putting a little halo over our head. Beautiful. Good, let's go final 10 here. Keep those ribs soft, down to hips. We're finishing with those juicy pulses to finish round 1 in 4, in 3, there in 2, and on the next rep, let's slide that carriage out, hold that halo up, little pulses, oh my goodness, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it in for 1. Whew. Second side is always the hardest. Have a little shake. Bring those feet back to hip width, and for our squats, either have those toes again tracking straight forward or find that little turnout, whatever you prefer for your squat stance. Ring comes back to chest, holding it in those cushions, and we open that carriage about 10 to 15 centimeters away from that stopper. We're holding it nice and still. Shoulders down away from ears, zipping up through our abdominals. We keep the carriage still as we inhale to squat down like we're sitting back into an imaginary chair. Exhale, we rise up. And again, inhale, squat down. Press those knees wide over middle toes. Exhale, rise up. That's it, keeping that carriage as still as we can. It's our last bit of work this sequence or series today, the standing series. Then we get to stretch and cool down. Beautiful. Can we start to add that press as we squat? Squeeze at the top. Try and turn that ring into an oval with that squeeze. Squat, press, stand and squeeze. Good, keeping that carriage still. Remember, you can always adjust that carriage foot again. Take it further towards those shoulder posts to make it easier to keep open. Take a bit of load off those glutes. But we're really working on strengthening that lower body today. Strengthening those glutes, strengthening hammies, quads. It's all working nice and hard here. Last little layer, can we add that pulse? Squat it down, pulse, pulse, and we rise back up, squeeze. Let's go last 12. We're pulsing out to finish in 10. You can do it, team. Keep moving, keep that carriage open. You've got 5. Pulsing in 4, 3, 2, and let's hold it down. Little pulses. Keep those arms long, carriage open. Whoo, glutes on fire. 5, 4, 3, 2, and come on up for 1. Close that carriage. Dolly. Give those legs a little shake. 1 final round of work here. Toes come back, or feet come back to parallel. That ring comes to chest. We've got our skaters to finish off strong here, team. We can do it. We're feeling strong. Come on down. Keep that carriage still. Shift all the way into that right leg. Toes all over that platform. Ankle, knee, hip are all stacked in one line. Hinging forward, pressing those hips slightly back, heavy through that right heel. And let's take an inhale, prepare. As you exhale, we extend that carriage out. Left leg extends. Inhale, control it back in. Just that left leg doing the work here. that right leg does not move an inch. You're gonna really feel that glute stabilizing, using all those stabilizing muscles to hold that right leg as still as we can for this last bit of work today. You've got it. Powering through, team, using power, strength, speed here. You've got the last 10. Sink it lower if we can. Go, keep hinging forward, drawing that core up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and bring it in, close that carriage for 1. Oh, rise it up, well done. Left foot's gonna come back first, and then right foot comes down. You can pop that ring out of the way. You guys have earned a good stretch out. So let's just take a seat on our carriage. Come on down, let's give those glutes a good stretch. Just seated on the edge of your carriage. Let's take our right ankle over our left knee. And if we can, just keep the spine long and take a little hinge forward, just as much as you can. If you're like me, it's gonna pinch real bad, it's gonna burn, but slowly start to release through that glute. Spine stays long. Can we hinge forward, get that chest a little bit lower to our calf. Nice deep breaths into it. Super good job today, team. I hope you feel as much as I am. Oh my goodness, the heavy springs are no joke, are they? Whew. Let's switch sides when you're ready. Right foot back to floor, left ankle over knee. Keeping that spine long, just take a little hinge as far forward as you can, as far as feels good. Just relaxing into it. Love some heavy springs though. I feel like you just feel so strong, so powerful and empowered after some heavy springs. I absolutely love it. So I hope that's how you're feeling as well. And maybe a little bit sweaty, a little bit sparkly. Whew, I know I certainly am. Alrighty, take that foot back down. Let's just take our right hand onto the carriage beside us. Take a little mermaid up and over, left arm reaching over. Keep that chest open, think bicep in line with ear as you find that beautiful mermaid over to the right. Good, and when you're ready, other side. Left hand to carriage, right arm mermaids up and over. Find that beautiful stretch through the obliques, through the shoulders, that side waist. Feels so good, doesn't it? And bring it back down. And that is your full body workout done today, team. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you're feeling strong, empowered to go tackle the rest of your day or night, wherever you are, whatever time it is. And please make sure if you did enjoy this video, I'd love to hear how you went in the comments below. So please let me know how you found this workout, what you enjoyed, and don't forget to give it a like so I know you enjoyed it. And please also don't forget to subscribe so you never miss a new workout when they're released. I'll see you back here next time. Bye.